inside or outside, and finally determined that it was coming from a drain in the floor of my utility room, which is where I had smelled this odd smell. And they feel like that drain might need to be that it's a sewer problem, and that was not quite rotten eggs, but close. So I am grateful I was able to shut all the windows and close the doors again, turn the air back on. The whole time I was thinking, though, oh, what if they load me up and won't take me to the hospital, check me out for CO2 poisoning? Or I mean, my mind was going crazy. I said, I can't do that. I've got to be with my Lilyworks family at 2 o'clock and later tonight at 6 for the Christmas train. Oh, so anyway, that's what's been going on at my house. Kind of crazy. But I'm grateful that everything's back to normal, and I'm sipping a soothing throat drink. All right. So, hey, Bedazzled. How are you? How are you? Okay. All right. Well, as a bit of a summary, these collection chats we've done together, we have talked about, and to be transparent with you guys here on this platform, um, and in this marketplace, I am doing this series on another marketplace. And I say that to be transparent, and also because some of you, I noticed you've come in through that other marketplace, so you must be, a member of it and selling on both in both marketplaces, like I am. The other one is more uh, uh, ceramics and collectibles and knickknacks and that sort of thing. And we here at Lilyworks, at least the jewels and lots part, we're just jewelry, and that's really my main focus right now is jewelry. I do have some odds and ends that I'm trying to sell on that other in that other marketplace, and they also will let me sell my rare and first edition. So I'm saying all that to tell you that if you dropped in, it was on a Thursday. If you were in the Thursday show, just know that this one's going to be a little different. I've got different items scattered in that I offer up for sale, and it always comes out of my mouth differently. So stay. Don't think you're gonna hear the same thing over and over again. And by the way, hearing things over and over again is the way we learn. Repeat, repeat, repeat. So bear with me. Okay. All right. We're seeing somebody coming in from well, am I connected on YouTube? I'm seeing somebody coming in. I need a moderator over there on YouTube to help me out. Okay. Hey, Rachel. Yeah, we might need a uh, moderator there. Okie dokie. Thank you. It's so good to have Rachel when she's got your back. Okay, so again, these collection chats, we've talked about everything from resource books for research, jewelry resource books for research. And that was, I thought, a very successful time together. And a few of you have gone to my bite now and have gotten the couple of books that I had multiple copies of and have put up for sale. There's still some available in my bite now. These are jewelry resource books, and it's the ones that I use the most. They're organized in a way that makes sense to me. It's by designer and not just brooches and bracelets and necklaces, and then the designers are scattered all through, and you have to look in the index to find what all the Monets or what all the Crown Trafaris look like. That's obnoxious to me. I like to, if I want to look up Trafari, I want to find a whole chapter just on them with lots of pictures. So these two books that I've got in the back now do that. And then we also had a mineral show where I was drawing connections between the jewelry we sell and the precious gems and the different minerals, like tiger's eye, jasper. I- malachite. I could go on and on and on. Turquoise, all of those minerals that show up in our jewelry, and sometimes we find ourselves trying to figure out what is this stone. And I did not. And I'm going to show you something. I did not show this book when we did that session, and I pulled it out because this is my go-to gemstones of the world. If you want to take a screenshot of that, I've got probably a half a dozen books like this, but this is the one that I really like. And the reason why is you can look up any like this is aquamarine right here, and it tells you all of the scientific information you need to know. But if you were testing the stone on a um, Presidium, this information would help you. But it also is going to show you all the different shades, and it's enlightening to me to be able to see these stones. These are all garnets, to see the possibilities of what these different stones would look like. And unless you've got that laboratory equipment like a refractory and all those kind of things, you're never going to be able to know exactly. So a lot of you are given the advice to take it to a jeweler and let them test it. A Presidium will get you in the ballpark and definitely will tell you if it's glass or an aquamarine. And but a book like this is very, very helpful in determining what's in front of you. I remember showing y'all moss agate. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And a couple of you bought some rings of moss agate. But there it is, and that's what it should look like. So anyway, I recommend this book. This is just a little review from a previous chat that we've had. Okay. All right. Put that away. Bedazzled said screenshot. Oh, and good luck finding it. And I'm sure you can on eBay or Amazon. Uh, but I've narrowed down the best book, and that's it for you. Okay. I love that the raw versions are alongside the cut and polished. Yes, yes, makes a difference. Okay, all right, moving on to what we're talking about today. Y'all, I have struggled with a title for this series. I know you saw that I've came up with aesthetics, the elements of art, and those are the things we're talking about. But I have finally, I think, decided on the title for the entire series, which is not just about the elements of design, but also the principles of design and a lot of other stuff thrown in under that category. I've come up with the title, the language, the language of design. And now that makes sense to me because that's what we're really doing. That's our goal in these little chat sessions is to develop, learn new words, new vocabulary, new ways to describe our jewelry that we are selling. And if you're like me, I struggle at times coming up with something different to say than just, oh, it's super cute or it's pretty or isn't it beautiful. I mean, it's just limited adjectives there, and it'd be nice to have more ways to describe jewelry. So that's one of the things we're doing, learning the language of design. And I will tell you that it applies to 3D objects as well. So if you're selling little knickknacks or glass or pottery, anything other than jewelry, the terms still apply because this and a piece of jewelry, they're both three-dimensional, so you can use the same terminology. So I hope that this is going to help. All right, well, I'm going to start off by asking you a question. And if I don't see your comments, just bear with me. I'm looking back. Bedazzled, you struck. I know. We all do. We all do. And we get into a rut of using the same adjective over and over again. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, people are there to look at the jewelry and find what they want and buy it. But I think we all want to learn enjoyed learning and growing and becoming more and more professional at what we're doing and building trust with our clients that are buying from us. And this is one way to do it, is to increase your vocabulary. Okay. Hey, Teal Chickadee, thank you for coming in. Um, all right, I was just summarizing what we're doing here. And so I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question. Can jewelry be considered a work of art? Hey, Rosie B. Good to see you, sweetie. Can jewelry be considered a work of art? Now, I asked the group on Thursday that I was talking to this same question, and I'm sure, yes, all of you are answering in the same way. Yes, jewelry could be considered a work of art. Absolutely, Mr. and Ms. Mommy. But just so that we're clear and understand why it could be considered a work of art, I've got some definitions for you. First of all, uh, there's some who would say that art or work of art, all right, is anything that's done so well that it takes on special meaning, done so well. The design, the manufacturing, the creation of it, done so well that it takes on special meaning. Well, I like that definition. The next one is from the dictionary, and the dictionary tells us that a work of art is the quality, the production, or the expression of what is beautiful, appealing, are of more than ordinary significance. Well, I would venture to say that a brooch like this would meet that category, that definition. Yes. Another definition is that it's the aesthetic expression. There's that word. Y'all have heard me say that word a lot, aesthetic. We'll come back to that in just a second. The aesthetic expression of an idea or experience formed by human hands, even if the production by machinery is involved, through the use of a material or a medium, and in this case, metal, glass. It could be uh, faux pearls or real pearls. It could be gemstones. Could be plastic. Could be wood. Could be bone. Could be stone. Right? Those are the materials, or what we call the medium. The aesthetic expression. Well, aesthetics, as you know, has to do with beauty. What is considered beautiful. And do you know there are some universal responses that humankind, all humans have? They all tend to have the same aesthetic experience in viewing a sunset, sometimes like a sunrise, or listening to particular types of music, hearing a poem read, seeing a beautiful woman pass by, a handsome man, that when you find yourself going, wow. And how many of you, when you're in these jewelry shows and somebody puts up a piece, how many of you type in, I do, wow, wowzers, whoa. You're having an emotional response to what you're seeing, to the beauty of what you're seeing. So that definition, I think, works. The last one is when a material or medium is used in such a way that a jewelry design contributes to our understanding or enjoyment of life, then we have experienced jewelry as art. Well, what is this? This is a butterfly. Our experience with butterflies, we've all had those experiences out in the garden. So take yourself to that place. Take yourself out in your garden or on your patio where you have flowers and the butterflies are flitting around, and relive that moment. Uh, Peaceful, happy, it's pleasant. And so a piece of jewelry that is like this one can has the possibility of evoking those kind of memories. And how many of you have seen a butterfly, maybe that you've never seen before, that was maybe extraordinarily beautiful? And you find yourself going, wow, look at that. I have a girlfriend that photographs with a zoom lens on her camera, and she's quite good at it. She takes photos of butterflies all the time, and I'm just constantly going, wow, when I see it. So a piece of jewelry like this little brooch, brings those kind of memories back to me, and they're happy memories. So, jewelry, then, as a work of art, is a vehicle for the communication of significant experience. We've all had those kind of significant experiences with things that cause us to go, wow. Okay, well, um, want to show you now another butterfly. Whoops, I think it'd be best if I move my little box. So give me a second to move that little box and to get this back up on the stage here. I want you to look at this butterfly. Now, this is just a photograph of a brooch that is a butterfly. This was designed by Nettie Rosenstein. This is a Nettie Rosenstein piece. Hang on just a second. Rosenstein. Yes, I don't know why I was questioning my memory. Nettie Rosenstein. Now, that that is her design, or the designers that work for her company. This is their concept of a butterfly. Uh, Here's the one from before. Let me just take it off so I can put it up here. They're two very different, same subject matter, same butterfly. Some of the same materials have been used: metal, rhinestones, clear rhinestones. But this one, the designer included these areas of enameling that are quite lovely, quite beautiful. And look at the little stone at the end of the antenna there. Rhinestones in little shapes. I would love to have this brooch if I could find it. I would actually love to have anything by Nettie Rosenstein. I have yet to find one designed by her, anything designed by her, to go in my collection. So I've got a bolo out for Nettie Rosenstein. Okay. What is the selling price on the butterfly Strawberry Fields? That's a good question. We're going to get to it here in just a second. Bear with me, because I am selling my examples, and I'll sell them throughout the talk. So hang in there with me. All right. So when we are looking at this, um, uh, let's bring another pin or brooch out that I think is similar to Nettie Rosenstein's design. This is unmarked. This is not a butterfly; it's a peacock. It's unmarked, and I have yet to be able to research who made this, but I can safely say that it was designed after the style of Nettie Rosenstein. Would you not agree? You sold a you sold one recently? Oh my gosh, Rachel. How did I miss that? Oh my gosh. Next time you need to text me, tag me, call me, shout for me. Okay, thumbs up on that. Yes, look at Bedazzled is reacting to this piece with a wow. I don't blame you. It is a wowzer. It is a wowzer. And but look, it's got the enameling, it's got the rhinestones, it's got the same flowing lines, graceful lines as this piece. All right, so when we look at this piece or this one, we can, there's some questions that you can ask both yourself, and when you're showing this piece, ask your viewers. Um, Ask your viewers, how does this piece of jewelry or this jewelry design, how does it make me feel? I don't know. A couple of you, responded in the comments saying, "Wow!" So you've had an aesthetic experience or aesthetic reaction to this. Uh, why does it make you feel that way? Is it the size? Look how big it is. Is it the colors? Is it the use of line to create these tail feathers? The color combination? Is it the texture that's created by these rhinestones? It's a combination of all those things. That's what's making you feel that way. Did the designer have something in mind, uh, in particular in mind, to which we can respond? Well, yeah, the designer was wanting us to respond in that way, in such a way that it would act on our will by our making up our mind. I'm going to buy that. I'd like to have that. That's when I bought it. Um, that was what was happening with me. I saw it and I said, "That is beautiful, and I'd like to have that in my collection." Does it relate to my personal experience in any way? Well, I have had the pleasure of seeing real peacocks with their beautiful tails spread out, and the colors, the colorings. They're noisy birds. If anybody been around peacocks? And did you know they fly? This one's sitting on a branch. No joke. These things can fly way up into trees. That just blew my mind. I thought they would stay on the ground. Goodness. All right, let me go back to some of these comments. The butterfly, this one right here. Annette, you said that butterfly would go for over $1,200. You're talking about the Rosenstein. This one, yeah. Don't You're not telling me this is worth 1,200, right? No, I don't doubt it because this one is signed. And if we had this brooch and it was signed Nettie Rosenstein, I don't doubt that it'd be $1,200. This one is not that much, or at least I didn't pay that for it. But I have not completely researched it. It's in really condition. It's well made, it's heavy, but there are no marks on it anywhere. But I absolutely love the way it coordinates to the Rosenstein piece. Well, I guess we could stop right now and sell a couple of these. This one and this one. Now put this one up. Let me move this to the stage and see what you think about it. I think this one is gorgeous. Look at those AB stones. It's running. Strawberry Fields. Yeah, you the one that asked me a while ago what the starting price was. Well, there's $10 start. Look at those ABs down the center, and that pave or channel setting of rhinestones. I don't know if I used the right word there. Isn't pave when they're set in so close that there's no metal in between? That's kind of, these are prong set, but it sure looks that way. All right, looks like Strawberry, you have won that one. Yay, this is coming home to you. That one's yours. All right. And then this one, putting this one up for $38. That's a spectacular pin that some of you have already remarked, wow, could you imagine wearing that out on a jacket, even a blue jean jacket? We talk about putting everything on blue jean jackets, but you just can't beat it, can you? I love the combination of something elegant like this with the casualness of a blue jean jacket. How about a white blue jean jacket? A white jean jacket. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? Oh, well, look at there, Rosie B. You're going to take this home. Yay. Thank you. Rosie B is a personal friend of mine. She loves beautiful jewelry, and she has quite a collection herself. She also sells jewelry. She's on the other platform, live sale platform from us. But I've learned a lot from her through the years, and she goes by the name Rosie BS. Check her out. Okay, we'll put that away. Well, we're going. stop for just a second and let me express my self here. Oh, Lord help. I'm laughing because here I am. I'm laughing because I'm just wondering if any of you have already asked yourself, what does all this matter? What does it matter that jewelry is could be a work of art, or that we have a life, more words to use to describe other than it making it more interesting, I suppose. But I mean, I know your experience. Those of you that are resellers, I know that you know you can put those pieces out in front of folks, and they'll bid on them, and they'll buy them, and you might not even have to say a thing other than this is super cute, you know? They're going to agree with you and they're going to buy it. Well, I think for me, the answer is that I really do get frustrated trying to think of things to say and how to describe a piece. And it is helpful to me to be able to talk about the use of line, flowing lines representing that tail, the color combinations. When we talk about color, we'll actually look at color combinations and how that subconsciously will speak to us. And we'll look at form, we'll look at space, and we'll look at how something is balanced, what the focal point is, its proportion. That has a big deal with this because the scale of this piece is so big. But anyway, if you've been asking yourself why you have started listening, I'm not sure I buy into all of this that Pat Crack Queen's talking about, but just hang with me, all right? Uh, because I've said to y'all before, and I'm going to say it again, there are three different kinds of buyers out there. Um, you're going to find resellers. Resellers are part of your clients that you're showing jewelry to. And resellers are looking for a balance between quality, the quality of the piece. Are all the stones present? Is the pin mechanism working? I'm just talking about this piece of jewelry here. The quality and the value, a balance between the quality and the value. Resellers want to find a piece that they know that they can buy here, and there's wiggle room on the above what they might pay for it to resell it, and they want to know that the piece is quality. I look at this piece. This piece to me, the way again these rhinestone, it's the surface encrusted with rhinestones, with lines of rhinestones. Those lines are tracing the feathers on this wing. And to emphasize it, for emphasis, these large baguettes were used. Okay. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you see this? First of all, what is it? It's a swan. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Thanks for joining, S.J. Woodson. Thanks for joining. And Sadie's music. Swarovski. Yes, because of the use of the crystals. It sure does. That does come to mind. This isn't marked as a Swarovski. It's unmarked. I was just double checking that. But they're beautiful AB rhinestones in here. But elegance, there we go. Hey, Flippin' Des. Hey, Desiree. Yes, elegance, certainly a word. Graceful comes to my mind. The construction of the piece, it is well constructed. It's not a real light piece. You know how you can sometimes you'll buy jewelry and you get it home and you're so disappointed because it's like the metal is like tin and it didn't look that way when you were seeing it. And you thinking, well, the person that was holding it should have described it a little better. Well, I can tell you that this is a substantial piece. It's not lightweight in any way. All the stones are present. So graceful, stunning. I like that word, Mel. Stunning. Okay, so uh, resellers are one of the three types of buyers. The other type is what I call a wearer. And a wearer has a personal interest in the piece of jewelry, thinking, "Wow, they have that response. Wow, that would look so great with my new outfit. I would like to have that. I'd like to wear it." So when they first see the piece, uh, how many of you know that the longer you talk about it, the more you show it, um, that their attraction to it can grow as you point things out. For instance, if we were talking about the use of color, these beautiful red rhinestones that create a pattern of the feathers, and then highlighting the frilliness of the peacock's tail. You know how peacocks have on their tails, there's like an eye at at the end. There's an eye, very distinctive pattern of feathers, and this designer has captured that, but he chose to use just one solid color, not a multitude of colors. He picked that up here. See the AB multicolored stones here? That looks more like a peacock. But he was able to unify, that's a principle of design, his design by choosing just one color, and therefore the wearer might be persuaded by the fact that it's all red and is able to say, well, that would go really, really well with my outfit. So, uh, being able to speak about the elements, color is one of them, line is another. The zigzagging line picks up the nature of that tail. Look at his little feet. And he's sitting on a little tree limb too. Nice little pen. All right, that's your buyer, your wearer as a buyer. And then the next one, the last one, type of buyer is the collector. All right, the collector is interested in, they're looking for specific pieces. Just like I was talking with Rachel a while ago about that Nettie Rosenstein piece, I'm looking for a specific piece. Well, the collector is looking for not only a specific piece, but they're looking also for a balance between quality and value. And I'm telling you, your ability to be able to describe a piece accurately, the condition of the piece, to be able to with assurance say, this is a Joan Rivers, there's the mark. This is a Joan Rivers B. She was famous for her bees, creates a sense of trust with the buyer. Because a collector will stay with you if they trust you that you're going to tell them right. And if you make a mistake, own up to it. I'm telling you, I bought, paid two or three hundred. It was close to $300 for a cameo from a buyer on a different platform. It's been a while back. And she was saying it was a book piece and even held the book open and showed it, but not long enough for me to really, really look at it. But I trusted her. I'd been buying from her. I trusted her. Well, it wasn't 2 or 3 hours after her show that she contacted me and said, you know what? I have gone back and looked at that piece and I've decided that it's not exactly what was in that book, and I'd like to refund your money in full. And so she then showed me the page out of the book, and I could took the time to look at it, and it wasn't an exact match, and the price I had paid was really only because it was a book piece and by that particular designer. So she gave my money back, and I respect her even more because of that. But so anyway, if you've done your research and you're able to describe the quality of the piece, the condition of the piece, and on this one, again, we see one color rhinestone used by the designer, and that creates in this very small scale pen a sense of unity. The design is unified, pulled together. If we could talk about the balance of the piece, the visual balance, which is a principle. If you draw a line right down the center of this pen, you'll see that this piece is symmetrical. This side is the mirror image of this side. Well, that's called formal balance. Well, we are, as humans, affected by things that are formally balanced. We're drawn to it. It gives us a sense of being at rest, being still, being stable. Now, this is unconscious what's going on. Something that's symmetrically designed creates a sense of stability, that it's solid, that it's not moving. We were talking about, building trust in your client. An asymmetrical piece is totally opposite. Your buyer will have a totally different subconscious response to it. There's also something about uh, symmetrical balance that we call it formal versus informal balance. And formal balance speaks to just subconsciously the elegance of a piece. And this little bee is quite elegant. Even though it's just a bee, it's a critter. But I think it's well designed. And most bees would probably, you'd say most bees are going to be symmetrical. Have you ever seen a bug design where it wasn't? It was asymmetrical. I have, and immediately you're visually on guard. You don't realize it, but you are. It sets up a tension, like the thing is going to move. Strawberry's asking if I have any hummingbird brooches. I don't think I do. I've got some other birds. I don't have any out today to show to you. Strawberry, stay with me though. I have a huge box of critters, what I call critters, and it's every kind of critter you can think of. But anyway, summarizing this up, this is your buyer that is a collector. Okay. Well, let's go back through these and see if anybody's interested in having them. This beautiful swan got its up and running for just $7. I have, for this afternoon, put good values on these pieces to encourage you. If you have this in your possession, uh, it'd be a good one to practice on with your buyers when you show it. You can talk about some of the same things we've talked about. Look how this one's all one color. Small pens that are all one color like this are naturally unified, and there's something peaceful, reassuring about unity. Think of that in life when things are uh, um, split apart, not unified. I can think of things going on politically today. It creates tension, doesn't it? Now, again, all this is subconscious, but the unity in a little piece like this has a very calming effect. I'd want to wear that. Well, Annette has just won that. Thank you. All right, let's see if anybody likes the peacock, which was an example of your your buyers that are going to say, "I want to have that to wear on my new suit or my new dress, or I've got a party to go to, and that would be perfect." All right, anybody interested in this? It's counting down. Annette, good. By the way, I'm so sorry I didn't show you the insides, but it's all in great shape. Nothing wrong with the pen. It's unmarked. It's what we call an unmarked or an unsigned beauty, right? Okay, Annette, you've got that. And the last one is a precious little Joan Rivers bee. I've got a huge collection of these bees, and they're all different. And I just reached in without looking to choose one. because I knew it was going to be hard to decide. And this is the one my fingers fell to. Purge, baby, I think. Annette, you are amazing, sweetheart. She lives up to her name, y'all. Purge, baby. She will purge your inventory. I need to come visit you one day, Annette, and see your collection. I bet it's beautiful. Okay, did that, you won that. Okay, we can put that away. All right, thank you. Thank you, Annette. Okay, the next thing I want to talk to you about is the term awareness and perception. And you say, well, what's the difference between awareness and perception, and why is it important? Well, let's see why it's important. To be aware is simply to be conscious, and hopefully all of you out there are aware of your surroundings. You're conscious, but you're sensing things mainly, like right now, through sight and hearing. But to perceive is to see and to hear things with understanding. It's a step above just seeing. And how many of you know you can see without really seeing? We do it all the time. And it's because the left side of our brain, which is involved with speaking and it's verbal, the right side of the brain is visual. All right. Well, with the right side of your brain, you're seeing like cars passing on the road. But the left side of the brain will kick in so quickly to categorize, to name what you've just seen, put it in a category like cars. And it tells you, okay, that was just a car pass. And that's why, 15 minutes later, you could ask a person who's just come down the road, tell me about the cars that you passed. And they're going, oh, well, I passed cars, but I can't even tell you the color or the make. Well, we know that happens. That's the left side of the brain wanting you to get on with business. It was just a car, categorized it. It's okay. You can move ahead. Um, or passing people on the street. Now, sometimes with people, the right side of your brain will want to look more intently because it's trying to figure out, are you a friend or a foe? Okay. Am I going to be safe to pass you? And all that happens really quickly. The left side of the brain quickly categorized. This is not a foe, and it may not be a friend, but it's not a foe, and it's safe to pass this person. Um, we when we're showing jewelry, and many of us put out on our stage, just cover the stage with jewelry, and when your buyers, your viewers come in, they see that, and they're quickly forming, the left side of the brain is quickly categorizing, all right, these are all brooches, these are earrings, these are necklaces. And you've got to push past that to be able to really get them interested in individual pieces. And you have to do that with the right side of their brain, which involves looking and seeing. That's why when you really give them an opportunity to look at the piece, the longer they can look at it, and I know we have time restraints selling, but the chances are then that the right side of the brain, which is our creative, intuitive side, will kick in, and they'll have that aesthetics experience saying, wow, wow, that is beautiful. Okay. So awareness is just being conscious, being seeing, perception is when you are seeing in such a way as to understand. Um, So I want to use this as an example. And excuse the fuzz on this bust. I hate that. I hate these velvet things. Do y'all dislike these velvet busts? I ran out of busts to use today because I've got most of mine loaded up with Christmas stuff for later on when our Christmas train starts. I've got all my jewelry busts loaded up. Yes, I'm seeing somebody else saying that you don't like them, even with a lint brush, which I have. it's just almost impossible to get rid of. Anyway, let's let's do this. Well, I've got to leave that there because I'm going to do something else with this pen. All right, let's just look at the brooch. And right away, what is the content of this? It's a rooster. What's the subject matter? It's a rooster. Okay, we're seeing it. We're aware it's a rooster. Um, but as we look now, spend time looking more closely, we can see that the designer chose to use basically three different colors, right? Purple, red, and purple and red are analogous colors on the color wheel, which means they're next to each other on the color wheel. And when we talk about the element of color more, we'll get into this. But whenever you have analogous colors in a design, it creates a sense of there's a calming effect. Purple next to red, there's a calming effect between them, because what's on the other side over here, blue, purple, red, and every painter knows you mix red and blue to get purple. But there's, because they're related to one another, there's a calming effect. So this designer chose to use those glorious spots on the feathers of this rooster of red rhinestones, and then there's texture that's been created by the way the metalwork is stamped. And then we've got all these wonderful flowing lines. You don't realize it, but since you started looking at this rooster, your eye has moved. Let me get my pencil. Your eye has moved. We tend to always look at something that's got a face. We tend to look at the eye or the mouth area first. You might have looked right in this area, but I guarantee you, you looked there and quickly began to move. Your eye began to move, and the designer is controlling the way your eye moves through the design of this piece by the use of line, because our eyes subconsciously follow lines. And we'll talk more about that when we talk about line. But then, what about the yellow or the gold? Well, yellow and purple are opposite one another on the color wheel. They're called complementary colors, and they tend to excite the eye because it's actually pulling out the best of the combination. Yellow is bouncing off of the purple visually, and it's creating a sense of action, whereas the red and the purple are tend to be more static or still. Well, look, what do we think of when we think of roosters? What's our experience with roosters? That if they don't like you, you better watch out, because they will not only try to peck you, but or fly up at you and use their claws to hurt you, but they'll chase you, chase you down. And interestingly enough, we get that sort of response from this brooch. Well, it takes a certain person, really, a certain buyer, that would be attracted to this balance of being static or still and being active, just because of the color combination. Bank Red Emeralds Collection. Okay. Oh, there's another YouTube person. I'm not sure I follow you, Bank, on Red Emeralds Collection. But anyway, back to this. So if I were showing this pen, what I would do is to begin to um, maybe add some stuff onto the bust. First of all, I'm going to really want to pull into the calming effect, because nobody wants to wear something that looks like it's getting ready to attack you on your blouse or on your jacket, right? So the emphasizing the purple um, brings you back to that calming effect of analogous color scheme. And as you're talking about it, you said, well, it might be Interesting though to add a bit of gold, because that then starts to relate to the yellow, but it's not overpowering. It's going together nicely. Are y'all liking what I'm doing here? Are you liking this combination? Now, I'm draping all of this up here to sell that pen. And then I am going to put these things up for sale to y'all, but I'm talking about if I was trying to sell that pen, here's some wonderful ways that you can increase your ability to sell it. And how about if we really double down on the analogous color scheme by adding some red? Now, this is a art from the Art Deco period. These are Bohemian crystals. And this is a very old necklace in excellent shape. But the point I'm trying to make is that when we're showing just the brooch, you might consider layering it as you go to emphasize the calming effect versus that, this rooster's getting ready to attack you. Now, that's all subconscious thinking, okay? Subconscious thinking. All right. Well, let's do this. Let's see if anybody's interested in that rooster. I've got it for $16, and let me show you the back of it. Ironically, it's got a silver tone back. It's got that's not an old C class, that's a contemporary one. It is well made. It's not thin, tin like feeling to it. It's got a rhodium coating on it. All right. Any interest in this rooster? Okay, that has passed. Okay. Well, how about I was going to put together where's that rooster? They put him back up here. All right. How about if we do this? How about if I offer the rooster and that purple strand together as a set? And I'm offering that as a set at $20. Okay. Anybody interested in the purple necklace and the rooster? And that would give you an opportunity to do this kind of combination yourself. And I'm not doing too good a job showing you the necklace, but has it ended? Okay, there wasn't any interest in it. Okay. This piece right here is a 14 karat gold. It's probably electroplated, and it is in. This is not for sale. Sorry, this is in my permanent collection. Let me take that down. But this right here is in my buy it now. So if you're interested in this, there's the mark right there. It says 14K. 14K. But it's if you're familiar with these type of necklaces, imagine it is probably electroplated, but it's a stunning necklace. It's in the buy it now, so you can find it there. Okay, all right. Well, let's put that away. And if you change your mind, I can rerun objects. Okay. Thank you, Rachel. Appreciate that. They're being persistent, aren't they? Okay. Well, let's move on. Um, let's let you look at this chart for a few minutes here. These are the actual elements that we'll be talking about in the next few weeks. We'll probably do line, shape, and space maybe all together at one time. I'm trying to restrict these to just an hour. I'm going a little bit long today because I wish I could keep all of you to raid into the Christmas, but I need to take a break. So I am going to end just prior to the next to that train starting. But let's plow on. So the elements that you see listed there are the basic components of any design. This cat uses line, shape. There is a sense of space, and I will, when we get to space, I'll show you how we can talk about space with a three-dimensional object. All right, form. Well, naturally, it has form because form has to do with being 3D. Value, light and dark areas, color, and texture. All right. But the principles are how all of those elements are put together. It's kind of like the rules of grammar. It's like grammar. You have vocabulary and then you have grammar, how those words are put together. And line and value and color, all those things can be used to create rhythm. And this is where it really gets fun talking about jewelry is to be able to talk about the principles, rhythm, balance, proportion or the scale of the piece, variety is, and then emphasis. Emphasis has to do with is there a focal point in the design? And then unity. And you've heard me use that word already. So that's where we're headed together. But before we get there, there are a couple of other terms that we want to be sure we've got under our belt. And the first one is subject. Subject. And this is a word you can use quite often in showing your jewelry, your pieces, or whatever. Is what is the subject? And ask your viewer, what's the subject? Somebody tell me. Y'all can text in the chat. What is the subject of this design? Cats, yeah. Kind of like a no-brainer, okay. But how many of you know there's some jewelry that it might be a challenge? Kitties is more, seems to be more precise. There we go, bedazzled. Um, so the subject is the recognizable and nameable objects or theme in any design. All right, that's subject. And I tell you what, we're just gonna offer these up to sale as we go. Before I put it onto the stage, this is a Swarovski. There is the little swan symbol right there, and it's in excellent shape. There's little Swarovski green crystals on the eyes. So this is a signed piece, and the value reflects that. So if you're into kitty cats and want a good piece to be able to talk about what is the subject, it's two little kitties. Okay, this one's running, counting down. Love those green eyes. And those are Swarovski crystals. Okay, male. The enameling is in really good condition. This is a lovely pen. It's got a nice heft to it. Well constructed. All right. Anybody else? Okay, Mel, that's coming home to you. All right, the next word is representational. And let me just pull Mel's piece back out here. We talked about subject matter. These are cats or kitties. But then we can also describe this design as being representational. A representational piece of jewelry. It's clearly representing two cats. They look fairly realistic. I mean, we don't have any problem recognizing what the subject matter is. This is representational. All right, well, what about when you have a piece like this where, my goodness, uh, this is how it would hang. There's no clear subject matter. It's not an animal or a figure that we recognize, or it might be, by the stretch of the imagination, a flower or some play on maybe a Maltese cross or something. But you see how we're wondering, okay, what is this? Well, this is called non-representational or non-objective or non-figural. All those terms can be used, where the object is not recognizable, it's not nameable, and the design really has no other reference other than to the elements that are used. The shapes, we talk about shapes, they're repeated. There's a tremendous amount of rhythm created in this piece by the repetition of shapes. Your eye, believe it or not, is moving around and around, and then you find this layer here moving around. This is a focal point. Okay, but this is an example of non-representational um, design. And then what about abstract, um, where, um, hang on just a second. Okay, I'm going to use these as an example of abstract. Abstract is where the subject matter is recognizable. These are cats, just like that little pen was. But the essence of what a cat looks like has been abstracted out by the designer to emphasize the subject. So, a fat, plump, furry cat, uh, this plumpness that is in the design of this little ceramic piece from the head down to the body is emphasizing or abstracting what a real cat would look like. The way the eyes are prominent, that big, broad smile. Okay, so this is a good example of abstract. Most of you probably would say this is abstract. Well, it's okay if you want to say that, but what is the subject matter that has been abstracted? That's the problem. So you do better by saying this is non-figural, non-objective, non-representational. This is representational. This is abstract. Okay, do you see that? All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and offer these up for sale. And well, I'm not seeing the cat. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we've already. I was trying to sell your cats, Mel. Let's go. Let's go to this one. Good example of a non-representational, beautiful fall colors. And even though there's not a recognizable subject matter, it's a very pleasing design. It's got a lot of movement to it. It's unified by the designer using the same colors all the way around. All right, lovely focal point with these lines radiating out. So the eye, if a person, whoever wears this, the and somebody sees this on them, on their lapel or whatever, you're going to look more than once at it. You're going to look longer than just a few seconds. And that's what any designer wants you to do. The longer they can get you to look at their design, the better. Okay? All right. Did that one finish? All right. That one finished up. Okay. And how about the cute little salt and pepper shakers? $10 for these, and they're brand new. They've never been used. Oh, they're not brand new, but I mean they've never been used. They are vintage. Cute little kitsch salt and pepper shakers. Now I know these aren't jewelry, but I know that some of y'all do sell these kind of knickknacks, little collectibles. So I felt okay about offering them. sweet example of having your grandchildren come over and fix some eggs in the morning and bacon and set these little cats out for salt and pepper shakers. Okay, that's ended. Tell you those 30 seconds run by quick, don't they? All right, let's review. What is this? This design, subject matter, it's a shoe, antique shoe with a gorgeous rhinestone decoration on it. And, you know, they used to wear shoes just like this. I think they're elegant. And whoever made this, I think this is metal. It amazes me that they were able to replicate this sense of damask cloth. I just think it's extraordinary. Here's the back of it. It says just the right shoe, and that says afternoon tea, made in China, of course. What is it? Okay, but this is what? Somebody answer me now. This is a review. We will have a test later. What type of design is this? What type of visual image is this? Is it abstract? No. Is it non-representational? No. Are y'all still with me? It's representational. Representational. Rosie says I'm not ready. All right. We've looked at this long enough. Uh, I need somebody to. I need somebody to take this home. I have shown this thing so many times. Thank you, Annette. And Mel's bidding on it too. I'll dance at y'all's wedding, whoever wins this. You may not want me to do that, but my husband always used to say that. My husband was a good looking man, though. And people would say, "Would you dance at my wedding? Would you dance? Would you?" But this belonged to my mother. Bless her heart. I can still see it sitting in her curio cabinet. And I have sold all of them. She had a collection of them. But this one, it's been the last one for some reason. So I'm so happy. Mel, you won it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I will wrap that carefully and send it to you. As little collectible shoes go, it's really a nice one. Okay. All right. All right, here's another little piece of jewelry on another one of these stinking velvet things. This is an example of what type of design. All right, what's the subject matter? Is it recognizable? It's a cat, and there's cat hair on the bust to prove it, and it's in a shoe. All right, so it's subject matter is a cat in a shoe, holding some sort of little doodad there, which is cute as a button. It is so it's not non-representational or non-figurative, and it doesn't look all that realistic. I would say this is an abstracted presentation of a cat in a shoe. It's abstracted. Well, this is a Betsey Johnson. There's her hang tag, and the necklace is quite long, but it's got an extender on it, so it's a lovely piece, and I think it's uh, as a signed piece. Um, I've got quite a few Betsey Johnsons. I like her work. They're whimsical. Her color combinations are always the colors are bright. That is not just pink. That's like a chartreuse. And then look at the incrustation of crystal rhinestones. Lovely little piece, and the backs of her pieces are always so well done. So, anybody interested in this Betsey Johnson? All right, that's ended. Okay. All right. Well, I'll keep that in my collection then. All right. And then we've got a brooch, another brooch. What type of design is this? Is it representational? No, no recognizable subject. So, and it's not non representational. It is, yeah, excuse me. It's not an abstract design because we'd have to have some sort of recognizable subject for it to be abstracted. So I would say this is an abstract design. Now you might argue and say, no, it's a snowflake that's been abstracted. Well, okay, I'll let you have that. Beautiful silver tone with these gray crystals. Now this is a little bit lightweight and does have a good rhodium coating on the back side. The pen is in good shape. I don't see any stones missing. Let's see what I've got. I've got this at a good price, $12, up and running. If you're into that color combination, these are neutral colors, the white of the clear rhinestone and the gray. Look at that center stone. That center stone is the focal point. But the way these stones are set in here, it creates a pattern. Subconsciously, your eye is moving around and around. Your eye is also following this looping line around the outside edge. You don't realize your eye is doing that, but it is. So a design is successful if it can keep your eye moving around the image the more, and it's causing you to look at it more and more and more. And all those things tick the boxes of this being a successful design. And Rosie B, you have won that. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Another word that we can talk about is um, form. Form. Form is one of the elements of design, and form is basically the total effect of all of the visual elements, and it's usually restricted to something that is 3D or has the illusion of being 3D. If we were talking about a painting can have form if it has the illusion using maybe perspective. There's other techniques for creating a sense of something being 3D, but it's actually 2D. Well, this is actually 3D. This is actual form, and we'll get into that more when we study form. But what is the subject matter? Well, it's a mouse. I have a huge collection of mice. I wonder why. Pack rat queen. I've got all sorts of mice, pack rats around here. But this is a pretty highly abstracted form of a mouse. Wouldn't you agree? Abstracted. Okay. Um, let's see if anybody's interested in my little uh, trinket dish that is from out of my collection of pack rats. I finally settled on a pack rat for my little mascot. I mean, while you're all deciding if you want to build a bit on that, look at this. Uh, my mouse had to have a crown, and I ended up ordering from India. This is 14 karat. It's a child's ring, is what it is, but there's my pack rat queen. So once I settled on my mascot, I decided, well, I'll let some of these go. So now, purge, baby, purge. Annette, you've got my little mouse is coming. And it is a wonderful little trinket dish. Put your rings on here. Very practical. Useful. Okay. And then I have this little pen that is 10 karat gold plated. It's a nice pen. What is the subject matter? Well, it's a cat with a mouse. Nicely constructed. It's unsigned. I would say that it is representational, nameable subject matter, a cat and a mouse. It's somewhat slightly abstracted. I mean, it's not quite realistic. The mouse looks pretty realistic. Those little eyes. Okay. But this is a sweet little pen that um, might be a nice gift to a young person or anybody that has a cat. Anybody interested in this 10 carat? That's why it's started at 12. It is 10 carat plated. So it's a nice quality piece. It'd make a nice gift. Anybody that's a cat lover. All right, any interest in this cat? Okay, that's ended. All right. All right, here's another word for us to learn. And that word is content. Content. And we're gonna you know what? I think I need to put that up on my little box here. And back up. All right. What is the content of this piece? Now, this is not jewelry. This is a little collectible knickknack. It's a squirrel. All right. Y'all have quit responding. Y'all have quit. Your fingers have gotten tired of texting. Wouldn't you agree this is a squirrel? This is his tail. This is a little face. Okay. And wouldn't you agree that it's been abstracted? Abstracted. It's the essence of a squirrel has been abstracted out in this design. All right. And it's actually, it looks like at one time it was maybe a ashtray, but I have used it for, I mean, it's a great thing to throw your pearls in at the end of the night, which I do. I keep dishes like this by bedside so that my necklaces don't get thrown off the table and my earrings. So it's a nice little trinket dish. All right. And, but the word we're learning is content. The content of this design is a squirrel. It's what we interpret to be the meaning of what we see. It's the subject. The subject is a squirrel. Now, if you're talking about jewelry, what is the content of this piece of jewelry? Well, it's a bee. We recognize it as a bee, the subject matter. So it's that gives you another word to use. Bring a piece of jewelry out. The content of this design is that it's a bee. And it was designed by Joan Rivers. She's famous for her bees. And here's some other bees. And look at this one that is unified by the use of one color. And on you talk. But that gave us a nice word to use. Content. All right. Well, let's see who might be interested in my big old squirrel. This is a fun piece, and it's heavy. It is heavy. It's very substantial. There is, well, before anybody bids, there is one little flea bite somewhere. Where is it? There's a flea bite. Oh, it's right there. A little tiny flea bite on the bottom. Anybody interested in my glass squirrel trinket dish? If it stays here too long, I'll completely drape it in jewelry. These are my newest little bracelets I've been wearing. Aquamarine, real aquamarine. All right, that's ended. This stays with me. That's okay. That's fine. All right. Um, I do have another little squirrel though. Let me show you. It's tiny, and what I'm doing is I'm going from. If we were talking about proportion, look at the scale of this piece this content, this squirrel, and look at this, the contrast and size or scale with this little pen, this little button pen. This is by Avon, and I have a love-hate relationship with the squirrels here. I live in a pecan orchard, and so my closest neighbors are squirrels, and they dig and plant their nuts in all of my flower beds. I'm constantly having to pull up little saplings, pecan tree saplings from out of my flower beds. They even get in my flower pots, and if I next thing I know it, there's a pecan tree sprouting out of my begonias. And if you've ever pulled up a sprouted sapling pecan tree, you can't, your begonia is gone. You pull that tree out, your begonia's gone. Anyway, I have a love hate relationship with squirrels, and uh, but this one is sweet. Look at his nut is a little faux pearl. Look at the rhinestones on his tail. I would say this is an abstracted form of a squirrel. See if anybody's interested in my little Avon pen. I've got it priced at $3. $3. This is something that I would normally put on my hat, my cap that y'all see me wear occasionally. It's the kind of thing I'd wear on my cap with my ladybugs and bees and flies. There you go, Purge baby. Awesome. There you go. All right. We've only got just a few more things to go. Okay, Perch Baby, you have won that. All right, the next term we're going to use, and it's getting close to our last little section here. We'll be wrapping up, so y'all stay with me. Is iconography. Iconography is just another word that you can use when you show religious items. Iconography is what we interpret as the meaning of what we see. It's the symbolic meaning, the symbolic meanings based on traditional interpretations of certain subjects. And there is a traditional meaning to this symbol, and there's a host of other religious symbols that I could show. But if you just want to use a neutral word to describe this category, you can say this is a fine example of iconography. It's, I haven't tested the gold on this, but I have tested the stones. These are blue topaz. Let's see if anybody's interested in my little pendant cross with blue topaz. Nice example of iconography. Anybody interested in this pendant? And if it tests and comes out to be 10 or 14 karat, well, God bless you for $10. There we go, Mel. Thank you for your bid. All right. Okay. Mel has won that. Thank you. All right, we've got one more piece to show and to offer for sale, and then we're going to wrap it up. It's another example of iconography, but it's rather abstracted. I think we would recognize this as being, it looks like maybe a Maltese cross, but it's been abstracted. Again, if we want to talk about unity, look at the same color and different shades of the color, different values of the color has been used over and over again, creating a sense of unity. The Maltese cross has a geometric shape to it, which automatically, between the vertical and the horizontal line of that design, creates a sense of stability. It speaks of foundation, and you can see that all of these lend itself to this being a symbol um, of being a piece of iconography of the Christian faith. Okay, but to if I'm showing this, I'm going to want to broaden, maybe broaden the wearing of this piece. It doesn't have to be a Maltese cross or worn for any sort of religious reasons. What about if we paired it with a vintage set of iris glass, double stranded? This is vintage. Let me pull back. Look at that. I was just fascinated with this combination when I saw it. I think the two together really lends itself. Um, as I said, this is iris glass. It was AB coated. Sorry. Well, I'm torn between saying it's just AB coated and iris. Iris for me is where you've got all these multi hues um, in the crystal. It's cold. It is glass. It is crystal. It's got some weight to it. It's not terribly long. It does have a bit of an extender, but I'd say it's probably 12 to 14 inches. But you could add an extender to that. But I'm going to offer these two together as a set at a good price, considering the fact that these crystals are vintage. They probably date back to maybe the 40s or the 50s, certainly that old. I don't know that this piece is that old. Let me show you the back of this piece. It's like a antique silver tone, but the pen is in good shape. The stones are open, allowing light to come in. I just thought this combination was awesome. Any interested in that? Okay, there's not. All right, let's put that aside. And I'm going to end with just really, I lied. I got one more piece. And it's taking us back to the first question that we had. Can jewelry be a work of art? Let me pull my stand up. Oh, hang on while I pull the stand up a little bit. Here is another butterfly, and it's related in color tones to what we just looked at. But this is a little pendant. Now, I don't have it on a chain, but let me pull it off of here. Well, I got it stuck on this candle. But look at the enameling work. I think there's another term for this, grippot, or I'm not up on the French terminology, but I do need to get this off of here. I got it stuck on with museum uh, putty, so I can show you the back. It's nice and clean. This isn't terribly old. I can tell from the striations and the coating in the back. It's fairly lightweight, but it doesn't feel like tin. But it's you'd have to put a chain on it. But I'll just see if anybody is interested in this final little piece. I think it's a spectacular butterfly, and it reminds me of and I've lost her. Oh, this is what I was trying to find. What we started off with, Nettie Rosenstein. It reminds me of the enameling, anyway, in this piece, but at a much more reasonable value. Okay, all right, well, that's ended. Well, okay, well, let me move all this out and get in front of you. I'm going to turn you around and let you look at that and my hot drink that's no longer hot. This is the image that I have adopted as a theme for the language of design. I used to be a graphic designer, and I'm going to tell you this is a winning photograph, the design of it. We will come back to this picture again, especially when we talk about line. Tremendous moving application of line in this photograph and focal point. All right. But look at the jewelry that she's got on. Isn't that gorgeous? All right. Well, next week, same place, same station. We will start right in on line, shape, and space. We'll see how far we can get. Thank everybody for coming. Thank you. You learned a lot. That's good to hear, Mel. And I hope all of y'all will hang around for the Christmas show that starts the train. Um, Rachel is in Central Standard Time. When is that? I think it starts here at 3, so it's 2 o'clock there. Am I right? So did it start at 3? Well, it's already 3:30 here. No, it starts at 4. Starts at 4 here, Eastern Standard Time. Sorry, I'm having a brain freeze. So everybody go take a break, potty break, get something to eat, and come back for the Christmas train. I can't wait to show y'all the stuff I've got. Oh, I had so much fun putting it together. Okay. I love everybody. God bless you. See you at my show at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. All right. Bye. Oh, hey, y'all, it looks like somebody is already in, the train has started. I'm going to go ahead and throw you into as a raid and stay if you can.